guys. You guys ready to come aboard?
Is this your big fancy boat?
Oh, not mine, but it is a big fancy boat. My name is Brandon Emhoff. I am a sailor, and I have been sailing now for 4 years.
We met him, what was it, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Back in Florida, yeah.
Actually, probably 3 the first time, because it was in Stewart.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
when
yeah.
we gave you the full
the
filter.
brake core, right.
Yeah, old friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna go sailing today on a different boat.
Much different boat.
Much different, a very unique boat. And the name of the boat is?
The Impossible
The
Dream.
Impossible Dream.
I was living aboard my boat when I met Dan and Kika back 2 years ago. And I was volunteering down at Shake a Leg. That is a disabled sailing center in Miami. And after I'd been volunteering there for a while, the Impossible Dream just showed up back after their summer tour, and I just started slobbering. And I saw they were doing the Regatta del Sol La Sol, and I was just like, hey, I sent Deborah a message, and it's like, hey, you know, if you guys want any extra crew, I'm right here, and I'd be happy to do. And she said she'd be happy to have.
I never sailed before my accident, and I learned how to sail at Shake a Leg. Shake a Leg is one of the premier water sports center in South Florida, and they work very much with people of all abilities and children with disabilities. And I got salty for the first time, you know, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the rhythm and being on the water. And I went online and I was just Googling catamaran for sale, this and that, and this boat came up. And I wrote them a letter, and then we had some Skype phone calls, and then I went to England.
Deborah is an incredible human, and as a woman, to have gone through the challenges that she's gone through, and to find her voice, to find her comfort, and to be able to have an opportunity to bring this boat, this foundation, this mission, and bring people together, I think it's a beautiful thing to see.
I've known Deborah Mellon, our founder, for many years, and we developed a friendship. And then she acquired this boat and gave me a call and said, hey, I got this boat, and why don't you come down and check it out? So I came down and we talked, and I ended up being the captain.
We were in the car, and the car wasn't accessible, so they had put us in the car with our chairs in the back. We drove to where you could look down and see where the boat was. And I said, oh, and I think I started to cry. I'm pretty sure. I just like, that was it. That was it.
I had never seen it before or heard of it, and then I came down and I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, look at this thing, you know? Everybody's reaction when you see this boat is, wow.
I've been in the Paralympics since '99 as a volleyball player. I met this boat in Miami when it first came to Miami in 2012. Hopped on her and was just enthusiastic about seeing her and surprised that there was a boat in the world that was completely made and designed with someone with a disability in mind. That was just inspiring for me. Most individuals who are pairs or quads don't limit themselves. It's the able-bodied who put limitations on them.
someone once asked me, why do people with disabilities, why is the water so important for them? And my answer is, it's not more important for them than anybody else, but they're marginalized from this world because of design. And it's crazy because this boat is more beautiful than any cat on the water, and it's designed for wheelchairs.
So much thought was put into the design, and it shows, and so it makes people's lives comfortable. And then design aspects that are for people in wheelchairs I enjoy, because you're able to walk around the complete boat 360 degrees. You have this, really great promenade, and I get to walk that.
Whether you're rolling around the deck or walking on the deck, or you need to make a cup of tea in the galley, it doesn't matter if you're standing, if you're in a chair, if you have one leg or two legs. There's an access that is really spectacular. It's innovative, it's adaptive, and it's ever changing. Our minds are constantly evolving, and this boat is a beautiful example of that. That it's for everyone. Yesterday they had the Amigos Regatta, and traditionally the Amigos Regatta, it's all the city kids, the island kids, the families that come out, but there's a whole host of kids that are left home because they can't get on the water. So fortunately, with some friends that we made here over the past few days, we were able to connect with some families that have children with disabilities, and we were able to bring those kids on the boat with us. And I can say certainly it was their first time sailing, however, certainly not their last, and it was incredible.
Are you guys ready on the hoist?
We're ready for you to head to wind.
Bradley, take the sail tie off. This boat is so unique. It's the only one in the world, and when people come on it, they are so blown away, because to go on a sailboat, anybody in a wheelchair is gonna, first of all, they're gonna leave the chair probably at the dock, and they're gonna get picked up and put in a chair on the boat, they'll probably be staying there if it's a day trip the whole day. They come on this boat. Once they're on the boat, they're completely autonomous. They can go make dinner, they can sail the boat, stand watch, they can get on the couch if they want, because they can wheel anywhere, go to the restroom. They don't need any assistance for any of that, and that's very empowering.
When I got in my injury, I thought that all the doors were closed. So sports kind of opened that door for me, and it gave me that epiphany. When someone says that's impossible, you say, no, it's not. I'll make it happen. And that's what Mike Brown did when he built this boat.
Being a quadriplegic instead of a paraplegic, things are a little bit differently thought out. So that was also intimidating. You see some of the accessibility things on the boat, handholds in the ceiling, in the head or in the berths, and those don't work if your hands don't work, right? So if you can't grasp, it's like it's beautiful that it was thought of, but for a quad, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So it was scary, and I was intimidated, but they convinced me that their accommodations would be made, and so I jumped at the opportunity, and that was just pretty much a life-changing trip.
Given the opportunity to come here for this race for the 50th anniversary of the Regata del Sol al Sol from St. Petersburg to Isla Mujeres, and the dream, it means a lot to me. It's a privilege to be the first mate aboard this boat, and it's amazing that when we're making a passage, we're underway, I forget that anybody on the boat has a disability. It goes away, because everything on this vessel is made from it's developed from the ground up to cater to the needs of someone in a wheelchair, someone that doesn't have, the dexterity and movement that an able-bodied person has. They can call a command, they can go trim a sail, they can, do everything. They can do everything, and that independence is amazing, and it really brings a lot of joy to the people that are on this vessel, and it brings a lot of joy to me to facilitate that and be a part of it. And I couldn't ask for a better crew to sail with.
Attacking. Gotta pay out. Ready? All right. I've learned about sail trim and doing reading and classes and whatnot, and I've always sacrificed that on my boat. It's like, because yeah, I could crawl up there and make it happen, but is it really worth the extra knot? And so it's just like something I always sacrificed. So getting aboard this thing and just seeing how everything is designed perfectly and it just flows seamlessly. And that first day when we were offshore, it was like every time I'd go around somewhere, I would say, wow, that's why that's there.
This boat was commissioned by someone who had an accident. They became a paraplegic, and they didn't want to let that hinder their ability to explore the world, to sail, to enjoy something so magnificent, so beautiful.
The feeling you asked about came more so when we were not sailing amongst us as sailors, but when I saw the expressions of the mothers and the fathers and the children and the young adults. It said it all for me, and that's why I do it. I mean, that was the hook. The feeling was indescribable.
They constructed a piece of artwork that's functional and sails and brings joy to people.
Taking someone that didn't think they had that ability out and finding that moment when they get the epiphany of, wow, this is something that is beyond my previous perception.
It's pretty amazing. And we had one little guy that totally got on the helm and was just all smiles, and that's what we're looking for.
Day trips that we do are beautiful and remarkable, but when we pull together as a team and are doing, a 456-mile race, it's a beautiful thing. It's not this fun day cruise. Like, it's serious. People's lives could be at risk. Brandon had a good quote earlier in the voyage. He said, sailing's 90% boring. We're sitting around thumbing through books and sharing stories, and 10% sheer terror, because things break, things get crazy. And then when you see your comrades jump into action and everything's just like, all hands on deck, and people are, go to stations and captains running around barking orders, and we're all just coming together and gelling as a team. It's beautiful, We do
80 yards to their starboard.
And we did a very challenging run down from St. Petersburg to here, and we had the spinnaker in the water, which is everybody's biggest nightmare, and we were able to recover it, and that's over 2,000 square foot sail. And we just every challenge that we were given, we triumphed, and everybody had a good attitude and worked together, and it was just a really pleasant trip despite all the things that happened. There's a lot of challenges to running this boat, but the rewards are so far beyond that.
The regatta began in 1969, and it was founded by a gentleman named Senor Lima, Enrique Lima, and he was one of the first ministers of tourism for the Yucatan. He was a sailor, he was an adventurer, and so something that was very important to him was, how can we use this incredible ocean, this incredible Gulf of Mexico, and unite our communities, unite our cultures, unite our countries. when Impossible Dream started getting out and about, and they started doing some point-to-point ocean racing, I thought that this would be an incredible regatta to put in their bucket list, and we won.
The first place winners for the multi-hull class, and it goes to the boat Impossible Dream.
A lot of my life I was always afraid to start something because I was afraid of failing. And what I learned here was, so what if you fail? But just, try, like open your arms, reach for 100%. If you get 10, it's great, and just go for it. And I really learned that. In my life, I'm much different since I did this.
This is what the Impossible Dream represents. It just represents the ability to just come together, unite, and accomplish anything that you really want to.
Don't let people tell you what's good enough for you. Decide what's good enough for yourself and just go for it in any way you can. And just don't accept the box that people want to put you in.
People with disabilities can enjoy this, should enjoy this, should be thought of and integrated into every aspect of developing all of this. You should be thinking about it in the marinas. You should be thinking about it on the streets. How do people with wheelchairs get around? Cobblestone's not so good.
You're awesome. I love you so much. It's so cool. You can't leave tomorrow.
The boat is going to, after we leave here very decorated, we're heading from here back to our home port in Miami. And once we get there, I think in late June, the boat will start its way up the east coast of the United States and up to Maine and all the way back again to Miami. And over that time, we'll visit over 20 ports, partnering with organizations, hospitals, rehab facilities to bring as many people as possible out on the water to share this experience.
Thank you.
See you, buddy. Hey, man. This was fun.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for hosting us here.
No problem, my pleasure.
Best crew ever.
Why do you say that?
In the history of sailing. Well, because that's the captain has to say that about his crew on every voyage. You can't be caught bad-mouthing your crew.
That's true.
Excuse me? Double.
Redo. Fresh memory.
Okay.
Around the tree.
I'm going to fuck.
Little rabbit. I love the take me. Worth it, Caleb. Worth it.
You're like, oh, I'm afraid to jump off this thing, and then you take that step, and you're like, that was easy. Like, why was I freaking out about that? Just like Sailing Uma says, take the first step.